Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss new lesson, that is photosynthesis in higher plants. In this topic, we will discussing about the definition of photosynthesis, historical background of scientists who contribute for the discovery of photosynthesis process. It is very important to understand the actual process of photosynthesis. And also, we will discuss the actual process of photosynthesis, the requirements for photosynthesis, that is, various colored pigments, chlorophylls, and accessory pigments. And quality of the light and mechanism, that is, light reaction and dark reaction. Now, we are going to discuss about the definitions. Photosynthesis is the process of formation of simple sugars by green plants, some bacteria, some protists, water from soil, and carbon dioxide in the air in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So, photosynthesis is mainly by the formation of the simple sugars. Another definition, photosynthesis is a physicochemical process. That means it uses the light energy and synthesis organic compounds like sugars. Another definition, photosynthesis is redox reaction in which both oxidation and reduction reactions are occurs. During this process, water get oxidized during light reaction and carbon dioxide undergo reduction during dark reaction. Photosynthesis is an anabolic and endergonic process. During this process, solar energy or radiant energy is converted into chemical energy. So that is about the photosynthesis. So overall photosynthesis reaction, photosynthesis is a physicochemical redox reaction, anabolic and endergonic process. What is the importance of photosynthesis? Why should we learn about photosynthesis? Because of the two aspects. One, it is the primary source of food. Mainly, food is prepared by all green plants through this process. So it is the primary source of food. And another important thing is release of oxygen to atmosphere. That is about the photosynthesis, significance of photosynthesis. Now we will discuss some important golden points regarding. We have to know about some important points regarding the photosynthesis. See, upon the earth, the first photosynthetic organisms are bacteria. First true oxygenic photosynthesis first true or oxygenic photosynthesis is started by cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria, important thing, cyanobacteria. Annually, about 75 into 10 to the power of 12 kilograms of carbon is fixed in the form of carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and produces 1700 million tons of dry matter. About 90% of photosynthesis is carried out by oceans, that is by phytoplanktons and algae. Only 0.2% of light energy is falling on the earth is utilized by photosynthetic organisms. Now, we are going to discuss about the background of the scientists who contribute for the discovery of the photosynthesis. First experiment conducted by von Helmont. In 1648, he proposed the humus theory. According to this theory, food for green plants come from water and not from the soil. That is the first discovery of the food. He was attempted to understand the process of nutrition in plants. For that, he conducted experiments. Finally, he concluded that food for green plants come from water and not from the soil. Stephen Hale also, the same type of conclusion is given. In 1727, plants obtained nourishment from air and night and light. Plants obtained nourishment from air and light. The next scientist, Joseph Priestley. In 1770, he performed a series of experiments with bell jar, candle, and mouse. Finally, he hypothesized the plants restore to the air whatever breathing animals and burning candles. Okay. For that, he was conducted an experiment by taking bell jar, candle, and mouse. Priestley observed that a candle burning in a closed bell jar soon get extinguished. Similarly, a mouse was placed would soon suffocated in the closed space. He concluded that the breathing candle or an animal that breathed the air would somehow damage the air. When he placed a mint plant in the same bell jar, he found that the mouse stayed alive and candle continued to burn. So based on this, he hypothesized plants restores the air, whatever breathing animals and burning candles remove. That is the experiment. You can also observe the, the diagrams. And the next experiment, John Indian House. He showed that sunlight is essential to the plant processes that somehow purifies the air fouled by burning candles or breathing animals. He performed an experiment with an aquatic plant and showed that in bright sunlight, small bubbles were formed around the green parts, while in the dark they did not. When he was kept under sunlight, the green parts of the plant, repeat that, he was observed after some time some bubbles. The same experiment conducted in the absence of sunlight, he was not observed anything. Later, he identified these bubbles to be of oxygen. Hence, he showed that it is the only green parts of the plant that could release the oxygen. The next experiment by Julius von Sachs, he proved that the plants produce glucose while growing and store them in the form of starch. He explained that the plants have green substances that is present within the cell in a specialized bodies. He found that green parts in plants is where glucose is made, and that glucose is usually stored as a starch. Next scientist who contribute the discovery of the photosynthesis, T.W. Engelmann. This discovery is very important for Neet point of view also. T.W. Engelmann. He conducted experiments by using split light, prism, green alga, cladophora, and aerobic bacteria. He observed that bacteria accumulated mainly in the regions of blue and red light of a split spectrum. He explained the absorption spectrum of chlorophyll A and B. It is very, very important. By understanding T.W. Engelmann, what we come to know regarding the photosynthesis, that is discovery of the absorption spectrum. Mainly when he was supplying a split light using prism and green alga kept under sunlight, after some time he was observed some air bubbles. In that air bubbles, there most of the aerobic bacteria accumulated in the regions of blue and red light. So based on this experiment, he explained about the absorption spectra of chlorophyll A and B. It is very, very important. The next discovery that is made by Cornelius von Mehl. He conducted experiments with purple sulfur and green sulfur bacteria. He demonstrated that photosynthesis is a light-dependent process. During this process, hydrogen from H2O reduces carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. He concluded that oxygen coming from water and not from the carbon dioxide. That is very, very important discovery. So Photosynthesis is a oxidoreductive process. During this process, the water get oxidized and carbon dioxide get reduced into carbohydrates. Finally, the correct equation for photosynthesis was discovered: 6CO2, 12H2O, C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2.